Some people are so cocky that they believe they can screw with anyone. Maybe it's a horrible case of overconfidence or simply plain stupidity. But some people believe they are invincible enough to mock the royal guard. You know, the ones with red coats and bearskin helmets standing outside Buckingham Palace. Yes, those men. However, let me give you some advice. Don't mess with them. For whatever reason, this boy thought that today would be the day to put a royal guard's patience to the test. He approaches a bit too near, maybe believing the guard is just part of the decor, or worse, someone new to make jokes with. But surprise, surprise, the guard abruptly orders him to back off. I bet that took the smile off his face. Tourists tend to forget that these guards are on duty, guarding one of the world's most recognizable palaces. So, show some respect, guys. Let's go on to another famous example of human ignorance. Here's another beauty. This time, it's a youngster who finds it entertaining to march with a queen's guard as if it were a game. The guard's mind must be saying, just keep marching, just keep marching. But the boy doesn't get the hint and continues his prank until he taps the guard on the shoulder. That's a daring move. By which I mean completely foolish. Get back from the queen's guard! The guard maintains his composure, but you can see he's one step away from telling this youngster what's what. Imagine being this kid's mom and understanding your child has narrowly dodged an extremely humiliating and perhaps unpleasant situation. This takes us to the next excellent example of tourist behavior. Let's talk about the horse guards. These gorgeous animals stationed outside Buckingham Palace aren't just for Instagram likes. However, it appears that some tourists are on a mission to tempt fate. They get closer and closer, attempting to get the ideal selfie, or worse, holding the reins like they're going to gallop out into the sunset. Spoiler alert, it never ends nicely. And if you need evidence, simply watch this following video, in which a particularly dumb individual violates all common sense, as well as huge, bold warnings, in order to take a photograph.
Get off the road!
Needless to say, the guard was not amused, nor was the horse. In case you were wondering, yes, there was yelling. And no, the tourist did not take a lovely photo. What's even more remarkable is how many individuals continue to make the same error, completely unaware that they're playing a dangerous game called Will I Get Bitten Today? But hey, who am I to criticize if being chomped on by a horse makes for a good story back home? If you thought that was terrible, consider the tourists, who appear to believe the royal guards are courteous pedestrians who will patiently wait for them to get out of the way. They are not. If a guard is marching and you're in his way, you'll be mowed down. Just ask the boy in the following video who learnt this lesson the hard way. The guard told him to move, but the boy didn't grasp the message in time. What was the result? The guard did precisely what he was trained to do. Continue marching. The kid is pushed over, but the guard does not even stop in his tracks. It's a great example of why you should, move when a royal guard orders you to. Speaking of moving, consider how far some individuals will go to make a royal guard smile. The way these visitors try to get a response makes you think they're auditioning for a comedy show. Take, for example, this girl who chose to channel her inner dancing teacher in front of a guard in an attempt to make him laugh. Now, I am all for a good laugh, but this is simply unpleasant to see. The guard, apparently fired up, stomped his foot and went away, perhaps to avoid the temptation to break out laughing, which would cost him $275. Yes, you heard that correctly. A guard's chuckle on the job might lead to his suspension and leave him with less money in his pocket. Once, a girl tried her hardest to make a royal guard laugh by doing an odd dance, and she kept on doing and laughing. The guard got so annoyed that he stamped his feet and walked away. This was a clear sign that she had messed with a guard. These ladies appear to be among the visitors who will do whatever it takes to deliberately interfere with the royal guard's duties. The tourist begins to act strange and a little obnoxious by making filthy comments and gesturing in the direction of the camera. They appear to be having a great time, but the guard in the back is not pleased with their games. So, the next time you think your dancing steps are amusing, remember that laughing isn't always the greatest medicine, especially when it costs so much. Let's turn up the danger a little. Picture this. A group of Russian visitors, maybe feeling a little overly brave, decide to test how near they can go to scaling the Buckingham Palace barrier. Not the best idea, is it? The Royal Guard believed so as well. After a couple of strong warnings, which were entirely disregarded by our courageous visitors, the guard did what was necessary. He pulled his SA-80 rifle. Yeah, things have just gotten real.
Мы не унесли эту Тёма. Тёма.
You'd think the sight of a pistol aimed at them would wake them up, but they're still laughing, oblivious to the fact that they're one step away from making headlines. They eventually backed off, possibly understanding they had narrowly escaped being shot.
Get back from the Queen's Guard!
The moral of the story is to not test the guards. They're not joking, and they're certainly not scared to show you who's in control. Last but not least, we have the strange instance of the traveler who couldn't resist the pull of a royal guard's hat feathers. You know the ones? The soaring, black, fluffy objects that appear to belong in a museum? Well, one visitor thought touching those feathers was a good idea. Spoiler, it was not. He swung around, sword in hand, and gave the tourist a look that likely made her reconsider every life decision that had brought her to this point. And with that, the pleasure was done. No more photographs, no more touching. Just a firm reminder that these guards are not your ordinary Joe. They are there to protect, and they take their duty extremely seriously. So there you have it, a quick rundown of what not to do when seeing a royal guard. Sure, testing their limitations may appear amusing, but trust me, maintain your distance, keep your hands to yourself, and, most importantly, keep your senses intact. Or, you may wind up becoming the topic of the next popular video depicting what happens when visitors forget that the royal guards aren't just for show.
Make way for the Queen's Guard! Make way!
How many times do fools have to test their luck with the royal guards? By now, you'd think they'd realize it only ends one way, and it's not pretty. Trained for precision and discipline, the guards stay composed no matter the foolishness. But cross the line, and they show no mercy. Mess around and you'll find out. Every time.
His gun is jammed. Can you see the knife on top of it? He can't shoot.
Get back from the Queen's Guard!
Look at this guy trying to mess with the royal guard. He thinks he's funny, but the guard is not having it. One look from him and one shout, and he's already regretting his life choices.
It was built by Henry VIII.
Get back!
Another one who thinks it's smart to mess with the Queen's Guard. You can just feel the intensity as the guard steps forward. That's when you know it's over. There's no mercy for fools here. You have got to admire how they stand their ground while this guy's realizing he made a huge mistake.
Stand back!
Here we go again. This guy thinks he's the main character in some comedy sketch, but the royal guard is all business. Watch how he ignores him as if he's a fly buzzing around until he decides to make his point clear. It's a swift reality check.
Coming down there. Mine.
Fight back!
You take mine.
This fool clearly didn't read the "Don't get in the way of the guards" sign. He's acting as if he's at a theme park, but little does he know the guards aren't here for entertainment. They have places to be, so when he gets in the way, the guard shouts, "Make way!"
Get on the fence!
What's up with people thinking they can get away with anything? The guard isn't having any of it. The moment this guy steps out of line, the guard steps right in with that intense stare and a loud shout.
Get fucked! Get fucked!
This clip is gold. You've got someone treating the guard as if a mannequin at a mall, but they forgot one thing. This mannequin moves, and he's got zero patience for your antics. Watch how fast this guy regrets ever stepping that close. Here we go again. This person just had to test the limits. You can almost predict it. The guard's about to remind them that this isn't a game. When they move, it's like they're channeling every bit of royal authority. You don't mess with history.
Oh! Get yourself away! You can't be done that you're standing alone! Do it one!
Look at this joker trying to get a reaction. Pro tip, the royal guard doesn't crack, not even for a second. But just wait for it. One sudden move and you know this fool's in for a shock. It's a lesson learned the hard way.
Mike, wait for the Queen's Guard! I'm not being harmed, just it's fun. But he can't do nothing. He can't do.
Listen, he's doing his job. Don't be an idiot.
He can't do nothing.
Here's another brave soul trying to make a joke. The guard is having none of it. One step forward and you can see the "I'm in danger" realization hit this guy's face. We have got to hand it to the guards. They show zero tolerance for nonsense. You can't help but laugh at how confidently this woman is blocking the way of a royal guard, only to get shut down in the blink of an eye. The royal guard is all about business, and when someone crosses the line, they don't hesitate to put them right back in their place.
We're in this thing together, right? Damn it.
A little closer.
We were together in school, me and him. He went his own way. Just standing here.
Okay.
I'm only here for a couple minutes.
So how long do you know this man?
30 years.
This person's about to learn why you don't mess with royalty's finest. The guard's been standing still for hours, but it only takes one fool to get them moving.
30 years you've been together and you've been to school where?
School? Kensington.
Hogwarts. You've been to Kensington together? And you learned...
His mother, he picked him up from school. You know, he's that type of guy until he was 20. His mother picked him up from school.
And when they move, it's all over. Watch how quickly this prank backfires.
Do not touch the Queen's Guard!
Here's someone who definitely thought the royal guard was just for show. The guard's swift reaction makes it clear. There's no room for silliness here. One move, and this person knows they've crossed the line.
Get back!
You know what's coming the moment this person gets too close. The royal guard doesn't tolerate fools, and this person is about to find out why. When the guard moves, it's like watching a lion strike. Swift, precise, and with zero mercy.
Stop being so goddamn rude. You rude sausage. You're a 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 little sausage. That's my face.
This one's too good. This guy thinks he can outsmart the guard, but the guard doesn't even flinch until it's time to remind him who's boss.
Why you attacking man for, bro? He's just done, bro.
That's when the police steps in and arrests this guy. Another person who forgot that the Royal Guard means business. They're messing around as if it's a casual day out. One sharp move later, and this fool is heading for the hills.
Not back to the Queen's lifeguard! Do not touch the rain!
This guy's really out here testing the limits. The guard is standing there like a brick wall, and you just know it's only a matter of time before he makes his move, and then his fool has got a reality check delivered right to him when he touched the guard's horse's reins. Here's a classic. Someone left their child unattended and the guard wasn't having it, so he gave her a big loud shout. This little girl is going to have nightmares about this for days. So what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.